Let's jump right into our explainer on Ronald W. Jones's groundbreaking 1961 paper on international trade.
Which of these equations do you think actually better predicts global trade stability? Any guesses?
Well, in 1961, Jones proved that when analyzing global trade, keeping it simple is actually way smarter. His secret? Shifting to a general equilibrium approach. This lets us see how all markets interact simultaneously. You see, older models totally ignored how employment changes affect income, causing some massive economic confusion. Jones completely bypassed all that mess with this incredibly elegant, simple mathematical solution. Stability just requires the sum of both countries' offer curve elasticities to exceed 1. Seriously, that's it. But hold on, what actually hides inside these offer curve numbers? Let's break it down. The offer curve actually builds from two very distinct economic forces, pure demand and pure supply. So the elasticity of an offer curve is literally just demand elasticity plus supply elasticity. Meaning this slightly expanded formula is what mathematically guarantees trade stability. Pretty neat, right? This brilliantly shows that huge supply responses actually help stabilize global trade, totally regardless of demand. Okay, but what happens in the real world when countries start messing with their exchange rates? This world production box physically maps out what a trade disequilibrium actually looks like in practice. See that gap? That's an unintended accumulation of real inventories, entirely driven by a trade deficit. Now let's contrast Jones's realistic view with economist James Meade's approach to fixing these imbalances. Meade assumed a surplus country would just voluntarily restrict its own purchases to fix the deficit. But Jones argued that actual market conditions and shifting prices have to force that adjustment automatically. Which brings us to Jones's absolute takedown of the partial equilibrium models used by other economists. That sprawling, older Metzler equation completely disguises the true, stabilizing role of supply. It falsely suggests that if demand is low, you actually need small supply elasticities for stability. Jones rightly dismissed these older methods as just a curious, heavily flawed blend of assumptions. So if market stability relies purely on supply and demand, are today's deficits instability or just waiting inventory?